35 kilometers to go on the bike leg. I had a flat. Trying to repair that flat, my valve on the tire broke. Yeah, I didn't have anything to fix that. So basically I started running. So I was hoping the mechanic would come and help me. No, they never came. So I ran in my bike shoes. You can see the cleats are almost completely worn down. There's not much left of them. Basically running on the screws. I was like, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm gonna finish this. I watched the time on my clock during the race, and I still had about 6 hours to do the run in 35k, and yeah, I started running. And
hello from Sweden, Kalmar. This is Nick Johnson. Today I'm recording live here for the Limitless podcast. As I was reading the news this morning, it was something that just grabbed my attention, and I couldn't resist by reaching out to this gentleman who I found in the newspaper. This is André. He competed in IRONMAN Sweden Kalmar on Saturday. And what is remarkable with his story is that he had a puncture with 35 kilometers to go in the race on the bike leg. But he ran with a bike next to him. And actually I overtook him as I was cycling. And I was wondering, what is he doing? Where is he running to? Maybe a bathroom stop or something. But as I read the story, I understand that actually he was committed to complete the race anyway. So he kept running, and after that he also ran the 42-kilometer marathon. So I'm really excited today to be sitting down here with André in Kalmar, Sweden. André, a warm welcome to you. How are you today?
thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm recovering pretty good, so it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What a feast. So yeah, when I overtook you on the bike, I just couldn't understand what was happening. Maybe you can explain to us, because I saw you were running fast also with the bike.
Yeah, I mean, I had a flat, obviously, and in trying to repair the puncture, I actually destroyed the valve on the tire, and I was running tubular tires. It's kind of a tire that you need to glue on. So I had a repair foam that you inject into the tire, and hopefully it then repairs the puncture. But in that process, then yeah, I destroyed the valve. So I was out of luck, and I had nothing to fix that. So I started running in hopes of finding like a mechanic or at least a volunteer or marshal that could call for a mechanic, which I did. First I received that they were on the other side of the course, which was basically about 1.5 hour drive away. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just run in the meantime, and then I make at least some progress. But they never came. And I actually talked to the lead mechanic after the race, and he said that they were stuck on the island Öland on the big loop on the course, because they had a lot of people that needed help. And when they eventually were going over to the mainland where I was, they got another call that it was an older Japanese gentleman that did the race last year, but had to DNF after a mechanical, and they really wanted to help him. So the car that was going my way turned around to help him, and he actually finished the race. So I was really happy to hear that. And the thing with the Ironmans, you're supposed to be able to fix your mechanical issues by yourself. So I hold no grudge towards the bike mechs or Ironman or anything like that.
I love your positive mindset, and that's the limitless mindset which we're looking for here on the show, and which is why I wanted to talk to you today. But running with the bike shoes, I mean, I'm a triathlete myself, and I'm a cyclist. Even to walk in the bike shoes from parking a bike outside just to go in for a coffee is challenging. It feels very wobbly, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Running 35 kilometers, it's unheard of. Tell us about what are you thinking to get onto that feast, to even get started?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't comfortable, not at all. And I actually tried to remove and run barefoot for a while, but I felt like after 1 or 2 kilometers that no, this is gonna ruin my feet, that there's no way I'm gonna be able to run in barefoot. So I put the shoes back on and like just continued. And I think it got easier after a while, because the cleats on the shoes was getting so worn down, so they were like starting to be a little bit more flat.
And you have the shoes with you. Can we see the cleats? Or you can show them here to the camera.
So this is the shoes. And as you can see, if you look from the side, there's basically no cleats left on the front.
So that's
and they're very, destroyed.
memory for life.
Yeah, I'm not throwing those away.
So take us back to that moment then. I mean, for most of us, we would have been defeated, including myself. If I ran out of tubes and everything else, I might have just been sitting there waiting, either throwing the towel, hand it over, or just sit and wait will some mechanic come or not. But you are running. What were you thinking, and what at that moment to start running towards the finish line?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of obstacles in life, and very recently, like 2 years ago, I was supposed to do IRONMAN Kalmar. 1 week out before the race, I crashed. I broke my collarbone, so obviously I couldn't do the race. Last year, I had a airway infection for 3 months during the summer, so I missed a lot of races that I was supposed to do. I managed to do Ironman Kalmar, but I felt that I was not in the shape that I hoped for, and that I knew that I could be in. And the same thing happened this year, but I had an airway infection in the beginning of the summer as well for 3 weeks. I missed 2 half Ironman distance races that I was supposed to do, and also Vätternrundan, which is a 315k cycling race that we have here in Sweden. So I missed those, and like I didn't want to miss this race as well. Like a lot of things can happen to you, and you can't control all the circumstances, but you can control how you react to the circumstances. And since I was still able to continue the race, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go, man. I don't want to quit. I want this medal. I've worked really hard for this.
And this is what, again, I think is completely amazing with you here, Andrew, because again, you had a goal, and I read you had a goal of 8 hours 30 minutes finish, which is 2 hours faster than I ever can do this race. And I train almost full time for this. So you have already an extremely high target for yourself. You coming out of the water as one of the fastest. You're, at the time of this incident, one of the top cyclists. You're in the lead of almost top 3, top 4 of your age group, I understand.
Yeah, what I've heard from friends after race, I was in second place in my age group, 30 to 34. So it's a fast age group, and I was doing the best race of my life, basically. I was going about 41 kilometers an hour on the bike on average, and I was actually holding back because I felt that I was going fast enough, and I wanted to save myself for the marathon. So yeah, I felt that I really had a good possibility to do the 8:30 goal that I had in mind.
Okay, so you're doing really well. You're up front there in your age group, and that goal obviously was thrown away by this incident. Did you reload? Did you set another target that now suddenly just completing the race, or not just completing the race, or completing the race became a new target, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I'm completing the race and making the best out of it, enjoying the moment as much as it was possible. I mean, I was hurting, but I'm originally from Kalmar. It's where I grew up, so I have a lot of friends and family and old colleagues and things like that are out on the course and cheering me on. So I was like, I don't wanna break and stand by the side. I want to race in front of them, even if it means getting in on Heroes Hour. But after a while running on the bike, I looked at my watch, and I had about 6 hours to do the 35k. So I was like, yeah, that's possible. And then even if I get in by the cutoff time, that it's 10 hours, I still have 6 hours to do the marathon, which it's a lot of time. So I felt that it was possible.
Yeah, so what I understand, Andrew, you relied on the adversities you had before, the injuries, the sickness you had, and the cancellation of races, disappointments. And here you were now racing and reloading for another goal just to complete it. And I love the fact that you mentioned that it was friends, family out there cheering on you. How important is that social support when it comes to racing?
I mean, it helps a lot, having people that you like cheering you on, and yeah, it feels like you're the hero of the day. Um,
So you have your family cheering on you and so on out there, but was there someone also trying to talk sense to you? Andre, what you're doing is absolutely crazy. Come on, have a beer with us. I think I saw on the news you said people are offering you drinks and so on.
yeah, a lot of people was like on the side of the road, was asking if I just wanted to share a beer with them and like stop for a while. But no, I didn't have the time for it.
And so, what about the drink stations? Were they still? Did you get some support with the nutrition and so on?
I was actually without any water or nutrition for about 2.5 hours, which was a little bit hard. And when I eventually got some drinks, I made a mistake of like chugging too much too soon, which made my belly, like a stomach cramp, which was also like not the best. And that was staying with me until like the second loop of the run. Yeah.
So you're coming in on the transition, as we call it in triathlon, the T2, right? When you're switching then from bike to run. Were you thinking of stopping?
No. I know a lot of the people that work with IRONMAN Kalmar, like the volunteers and things. They are old friends of mine. So when I got into T2, a good friend of mine, like she was the one standing at the dismount line, and she heard what had happened. So she gave me some encouragement. I walked over to the medical tent because I had to band-aid pretty much all of my toes because they were the skin on top of my toes was scraped off from the bike shoes. So yeah, I got there, got help with band-aiding them and patching me up, and then I switched over to my running shoes, and I just sat for like a few minutes, like reloading my mind, like recharging, and like, yeah, I'm just gonna go out on the marathon. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna run in between aid stations and in between my group of friends, and I'm gonna allow myself to stop at my friends and like talk with them, have a chat, get some motivation, make some jokes. Just trying to enjoy the moment and do the best out of it.
Yeah. And were there other athletes out still running at that time as well?
Yeah, I was not the last one in on the bike.
Oh, wow, that's unbelievable. So take us back then to the first kilometers on the run, switching from the cycling shoes to running shoes. How did that feel?
Yes, I did a pretty decent pace the first kilometer. I was like 4:45 or something like that. But yeah, I felt very fast that is not sustainable. Mostly on the first loop, it was because of my stomach cramps. That was the worst part in the beginning. But I also I felt that from pushing my bike on the right side all the time, because I didn't want my bike to be on the side of the other cyclists, because I didn't want to if I accidentally swerved or anything, I didn't want to be in the way of other cyclists and jeopardizing their race. So pushing it on the right side the whole time made me imbalanced, and my hips and my lower back was quite painful at the time. Yeah, so that when running with that was pretty painful. Yeah.
Okay, and how is that now? Has it recovered or still painful? Or?
It's going in the right direction, and it feels like nothing is broken. It's just very, very worn.
Yeah. So just take us back then to, running the marathon. Even myself now, I was in pain in the marathon, despite having had the best and the fastest cycle leg of my life, actually, in this race. And but I was thinking, really going through pain, thinking of giving up and so on. But what's going through your head, deep inside your head when you ran?
Yeah, so it was just about finishing at that point. And I also was thinking of what one of my former bosses said to me. I met with him a few days before the race, and he said in a discussion that we had, it was something else, but what he said stayed with me, and it was that when you start doing something, you finish it, or you do it properly. If not, you don't do it. And I think that's a way that I try to live after. If I commit to something, I'm gonna do it fully. Otherwise, if I commit to it at all.
So it sounds like you came in with 2 commitments or 2 goals for the race. One was to finish it. One was 8:30.
Yeah, I mean, 8:30 was when it was started. That was the only thing I was thinking of. But after what happened, finishing the race was what I had to do.
And that is what is remarkable with this, Andrew, because many people need more time before we're able to surrender, before we're able to let go of a big goal, because giving up there can be so painful, and many would just give up and throw in the towel. But you were able to recharge, get new energy, set up a new goal, and move forward with that.
Yeah.
Is that common for you in your life?
I think it comes from earlier in life. I had a lot of obstacles that I had to face, and I had a period in my mid-20s where I was struggling with mental health. That was pretty bad. And what I took with me after that is you can't control the circumstances, but you can control how you react to them and what you do. So no matter the consequences, you decide what you do from what's happening. And that's what you control. And bad things can happen, and bad things do happen to good people. But you just keep going.
Well, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. And it seems like when we've gone through adversity in our life, when we've gone through challenges, and thank you for sharing about your mental health challenge you had earlier. When we go through those, it seems like we come out stronger at the other end. And what I'm hearing from you now, that is what helped you to carry you through, and you were able to come to acceptance of what have happened and move forward in a positive manner towards your new goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, so in my own journey, my own crash in my own life, I've gone through also a major crisis, and in my life I turned to alcoholism during that time. It was only when I acknowledged that was a problem, I was able to surrender it and recharge and live another life. And it is exactly that, about being able to accept it, surrender the old whatever journey we were on, and live a new one. So now then, moving towards the finish line, how did you feel the last sort of couple of kilometers approaching the finish line?
Yes.
You start to get some hope, or?
I mean, I had hope the whole time. For me, it never dawned on me that I would not finish. That was never something I was thinking about. But the last lap on the Ironman course, it's 14 kilometers. I spent that walking with and talking to a lot of other athletes, and that was a very nice time actually. So I talked with a few athletes that I do know from before the race, and I also talked to a few ones that I never met before. And it was very nice actually. And I had my brother walk with me for maybe a kilometer or 2, talking to me and just telling me how impressed he was, and that meant a lot to me. He was the one that got me into triathlon to start with. So that was even though I couldn't do the race, it was still meant very much to me.
So the social connections, the friends, family, being able to connect with them, talk to them towards the finish really helped you.
Yeah, definitely.
And what happened as you came up on the red carpet? I seen your video, and it looked like some people were even surprised what's happening here.
Yeah. So when I got up on the red carpet, I walked up slowly because I just wanted to enjoy the moment and make the most out of it. And when I walked by the speaker, I grabbed his hand, shook it, and I whispered to him, not whispered, but I said to him that this was really hard. I just ran almost 80 kilometers today. Thank you. And then and he just like patted me on the side. I don't think he actually like understood what I said in the moment, because after that I passed the finish line, I got my medal, and then he like ran back and like said to me, "Wait, did you actually run 80 kilometers today?" And then I told him about the bike and what happened, and he was like, "That's amazing. Can I take you out on the red carpet again?" And now of course. And then I had to stand there for a little bit because there was so many coming in, and and they deserved their moment as well, of course. But I was giving them high fives and just enjoying the moment. And when it's calmed down a little bit, they lowered the music and like had a very short interview with me, asking me what happened, and I told everyone. And I got another "You are an Ironman," and everyone is everyone around it like just screamed it. So it's very special. I'm probably gonna carry that with me for the rest of my life.
Fantastic. And if you think back to that crossing that finishing line, what did it mean to you?
It meant that even though I faced a lot of adversity and obstacles, I did not give up. I stayed on the course and I did what had to be done.
Yeah, and what did it mean even deeper? If you think back on all the adversities you've gone through and so on, did it have a deeper meaning as well for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I was never an athlete growing up, and I was kind of the chubby kid. So in a sense, doing what I'm doing now, like trying to qualify for Kona, the World Championship, and everything, that is in a way like me being there for my younger self, and crossing that finish line like really felt like even though I didn't do my time that I was aiming for, I stayed true to myself, and I made something that I can be proud of.
And what kind of feelings have gone through your mind now the last couple of days, apart from recovering?
Oh, just sheer happiness that so many are inspired by my story, and there's so many kind words from people I've never met, or just happy.
Yeah, so could you imagine what would it have been different if you had an 8 hours and 30 minutes finish? Would you think you would have gotten a full page in the newspaper?
No chance. I mean, the ones in my coach and my friends are like, they would be impressed by it, but it would not turn into this kind of story.
Yeah, so it seems like when we go through something unique, something with big adversity, something that people even inside the sport like me cannot even picture or imagine. It's beyond my imagination to do that. I didn't think it was possible, but you proved it was possible.
Yeah.
So what's next for you now, André, then?
I'm probably gonna keep recovering for a few weeks. But the next big race, I'm running Kulamannen, which is a ultra marathon, 100k. It's in the UTMB series. It's in the end of October, and then after that, I'm gonna start preparing for Ironman Hamburg and Ironman Kalmar next year. And I'm hoping from either of those races that I'm going to qualify for Kona. That's a big goal.
Have you signed up for 2027 already? Or?
Yep.
Kalmar?
Both Kalmar and Hamburg, yes.
So I will see you in Kalmar. I've signed up as well.
Perfect. That's going to be a lot of fun.
What will you say if they invite you to come to Hawaii, but you have to run the 180k in your bike shoes? Will you accept it?
No, probably not.
But what would you do if this happens again, you think?
I mean, it depends on the circumstances, but yeah, I'll probably run again.
Thinking back now, I mean, you have time to think and reflect of it. Could it have been another way you could have handled the situation?
I mean, probably I could have, like, in fixing my puncture, I could probably have stayed a little bit more calm and not be as stressed. And hopefully then I would have not ruined the valve, because I think I've actually managed to repair the puncture, but the valve was the problem. So if I've just if I just took a deep breath and spent 30 more seconds doing it a little bit more calmly, I would probably have not ruined the valve in the process.
But it might still have been enough time for you to miss your 8:30 target, and you just had a finishing medal, and we won't be sitting here, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So what can you take away from this experience for the rest of your life? What's your learning here?
I mean, always keep going. Don't give up. Even if it's hard in the moment, you don't know what's going to come out of it. And as long as you can take one step forward, just focus on that. Don't think that you need to run 77 kilometers. Just think about the step that you need to take next.
Is that how you were breaking it down at the time? You were not thinking about also running the marathon, you were just moving forward at the time?
Yeah, pretty much. And also in the marathon, I didn't think about doing the complete marathon. I was thinking, I'm gonna run to the next aid station or to the next friend group, and there I'm gonna, if it's an aid station, take some fluids in and try to get some energy. If it was a friend group, I'm gonna stay there, make some jokes, and get some motivation.
And if someone who's listening is going through a tough season now in their life, what would be your message to them?
Do what you can with where you are. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, but always try to do what you can to move forward. And you don't focus on where you want to be in 10 years or 5 years, but focus on the things that you can do towards that, what you can do now.
Yeah, I like that, taking the first step now, because even as you started that run 35 kilometers, there was no guarantee that it would last the whole way. The shoes almost fell apart, right? There's not much left of them.
No, that's true.
But you just kept going, so that's admirable. And thank you also for being vulnerable today. Thanks for sharing about your adversities, the challenges you've gone through, accidents, physical illnesses, mental illnesses. But you have overcome it, and I'm sure you will be a much stronger athlete moving forward as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Finally, Andrew, before I'm letting you go, I know you're going to be interviewed on TV next. So anything I forgot to ask you, anything you want to add to the conversation?
Not that I can think of right away, but I do want to give a shout out to my coach, Andreas Lindén. That's probably the first person to believe in me as an athlete. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I want to ask you about that, since you're mentioning the coach. Have you used the coach all the way in your training, or?
No. So when I couldn't race Ironman 2 years ago, I was training pretty seriously on my own before that, and the goal was in that race, like, if I go sub 10, I'm gonna try and see how far I can push this, like how far I can go with triathlon. So then if I would do sub 10, I would hire a coach. But then I never did the race because I crashed and broke my collarbone. So I was like, I guess I have to hire a coach now and see how far I can get this, because I didn't do the race, and that's not stopping me. So for about 1.5 years, I started with him in December 1.5 years ago.
And what impact has it had on your performance as an athlete?
Oh, massive. I would not be at the same level as an athlete without him.
Wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. I'm a big supporter of using coaches, not only for triathlon, but all areas of our lives. Have you also got some support externally of the sport with coaches and so on, or anything?
I have a friend, Jenny Pettersson. She's a nutrition coach that I sometimes um, ask questions. I'm a former chef myself, so I have pretty good understanding of nutrition and the things your body need. But like sometimes I just ask her a few questions and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Happy to hear also. So passing on the regards to your coach and encouraging everyone else who want to be a better athlete. So thank you again, André, for being with me today. I know you need to go heading to a TV interview now next, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hi, Andrew. Great to see you again. So we have already spoken about what happened during IRONMAN Kalmar, the moment your bike failed, the extraordinary determination you had to keep going. I don't want to repeat that part of the story, but what really stayed with me is perhaps a deeper question. Where does that inner drive come? What gives you that strength to keep fighting when life becomes incredibly difficult? And as I understand from 99% of the triathletes I've been checking in with, they would not have finished the race. They would just stop, but you just kept going. So that's where I today want to be a little bit curious. We also spoke about some of your accidents, your illnesses, your physical challenges, and so on, which accumulated towards the motivation for you to keep going at the race. But I also know that you mentioned when we spoke that you also have had some mental health challenges. And if you're okay with it, I would like to continue our conversation there, Andre. Perhaps you could just take us back to when was that and what was happening in your life when you went through some challenging times. And I just want to share also that I've had my own fair share of those mental dips. And I think most people are going through tough times. The issue is that some of them just keep it internally, while some of us are ready to share. So thank you for coming on the show to continue the conversation, a very important conversation, Andre. So yeah, can you take us back to that moment and share what was happening in your life?
Yeah, so I think what's kept me going is so what I shared with you on the podcast before is that I was depressed, quite deeply depressed for about 2 years. And I think that during that time I felt a lot of self-pity. I blamed the world for what had happened to me. And there's a lot of circumstances. Like I worked as a chef when I was younger, but I had a lot of back issues. I played underwater rugby and really liked scuba diving when I was younger as well, or free diving. But I had a lot of problems with my ears when I was younger, so I couldn't keep that going because of the pressure inside of my ears would rupture the eardrum. I also, during a lot of my younger time, my younger years in school, I was bullied for a lot of years, quite badly, and there was never really anyone standing up for myself or for me. So I think that after that, I had to. For many years, I had this false confidence. I acted really confident, but inside I were not. But when dealing with my depression, I think that I found out that life can, the circumstances in life can be what they are, and you can't control that. But you are ultimately control in how you handle that. And if some people have wronged you earlier in life, you can go your life being holding that grudge and feeling angry at them, but the only one that's gonna be affected by all that anger and toxicity is ultimately yourself. You're not gonna be feeling well from all that hate, carrying that inside of you. So even if those people that have wronged you has never apologized or made amends for it, I think you just need to keep going and forgive them, even if they don't deserve it, basically, because you don't forgive them for their sake. You forgive them for your own sake, so you can keep going, because that is what you can control.
Yeah, so it sounds like more adversity there. You had some physical issues and challenges already back then. You tried to do sport, but I hear that you had back issues, you had hearing problems and challenges, and a lot of self-pity came in from people who had wronged you, and you were carrying that with you for some time. And if someone looked at you at that time, Andre, and what you were carrying inside sounds very painful, but could someone see it also on the outside?
Before my depression, I don't think anyone would see it on the outside, no. Because, like I said, I was carrying this false confidence. So I think most people saw me as pretty confident and like easygoing, not like caring too much. But ultimately, I did, but I didn't show it. Yeah, because I think that since nobody was really there for me when I was going through my rough periods, it felt like, why would I show my feelings outwards when nobody has previously shown me any compassion when I've needed it.
Yeah, and at what stage did you actually realize that this was just not stress or exhaustion, but you were in a depression?
So after I finished my my first Ironman, 2015, I started planning a around the world cycling trip, and during that time I worked a lot of hours in a restaurant. I think the month where we worked the most, I was almost at 400 hours in 1 month. I worked every day from the morning until the evening. Basically, the only day I had off was Christmas. Um, During that time, we were also drinking a lot to manage the stress, and I think that also like got me feeling pretty bad. And I also carried that with me when I started the trip, my cycling trip, a few months later. Not the drinking part, but like how I felt. And when I after 2 months into the cycling trip, I had to cancel it or like stop because I was having some issues with my knee, and by that point I was like feeling the self pity that ultimately there's a higher power out to get me, and everything that nothing ever goes my way, and that's what started the depression, and that basically brought up all the things from early in life as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you are, been attempting to cycle. You got on a big trip around the world to cycle. You've been working extremely long hours, adding alcohol into that. You've been carrying all the history of all the challenges. You've been bullied earlier and so on. And at what stage here did you then start to ask for some help or seek help, or did you just go through this in isolation yourself? Or
So I was seeing a girl at the time. She was we were talking about it. She tried to help me some, but I wasn't very acceptable to it as well. I did see a therapist. The first one I didn't really have a great relationship with, so eventually I stopped going, and it took a while before I got the help that I really needed. About 1.5 years maybe. Then I started uh, cognitive behavioral therapy. and did that for a few months. That really helped with, like, I think, if I remember correctly, because I was on antidepressants, and it has messed with my memory from that period a little bit, together with the depression. But if I remember correctly, she was the one that told me that you can control your circumstances. You can't control your circumstances, but you can control how you react to them. And I think that thinking is what started the healing process. And also eventually also took 6 months in living in Australia. When I started feeling better, I moved to Australia for 6 months to work as a chef and also do some backpacking, which was good for me because I felt like I needed to get away a little bit. So yeah, that was healing.
Yeah, so that was your turning point, as I hear. There was two major things here. The one was the CBT, really changing your perspective that there was many things in your life that you are not in control in, and you managed to let that go. And then a change of scenery at the right time is what I'm hearing as well. Getting down to Australia, getting a break from it all. And can you take us back to that time also? Was there anything else that you did to get over or get out of that depression?
Not that I recall exactly. I think, yeah, just starting to think that way, and like starting to slowly take away the self-pity and start doing the little things for your mental health, like actually, like the little things every day, trying to move your body, actually get out of bed. Yeah, don't yeah don't just what should I say, like, don't accept your fate, like the small things, doing those every day, move your body, get some sunlight, get up and move, meet and hang out with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, so that seems like it was working for you, and you managed to get yourself out of this depression then at this time and finding some of your strengths. And just to put it in perspective, how many years ago was this? Is it about 8-9 years ago? Is that what we're talking about? Or?
Yeah, exactly. 8-9 years ago.
Yeah. And then as you came out of that, and what was happening in your life then? What changes did you make, and what was happening?
So when I got back from Australia, I started studying to become a civil engineer. So I did my master's, 5 years. In the beginning, it was a little bit like I still felt some of the depression. Like I didn't really knew how I were anymore. I like felt that the depression had taken a part of me. I was not the same Andre as before. So it was some time to like getting back to who I used to be, and like who I saw myself as, and yeah. But I think that like starting to get the ball rolling to improving my life was ultimately what like motivated me to keep going.
And what part did the sport of triathlon and Ironman racing have in your life then? Did you still race then every year, or how was it?
No, I did not race at all. During after my first Ironman, I sold my bike, and I didn't race anymore triathlon until about 3 years ago. In the end of my masters, the last year, I looked in the mirror and I was not happy with what I saw. I had gained about 30 kilos of weight, so I was a lot bigger. So I made a New Year's resolution that I should start taking care of myself again and my health. So that is 3.5 years ago. And during the first year, I lost about 25 kilos. And from the money that I got from my master thesis, I bought a new triathlon bike. the one that I pushed. And so I did a half Ironman distance race that year, not an official one. And then I signed up for Ironman the year after.
Yeah. What role would you say endurance racing and sport have played in your rebuilding of yourself mentally and emotionally to get back to where you are today?
I think it has played quite a big role. I think in endurance sports, it's a lot of mental game. It's going to be painful. Not necessarily running 35K with your biking shoes painful, but even if your race is going as planned, it's probably going to be painful. So you have to be in the right headspace, and you need to believe in your own ability and in yourself to be able to push through that pain. And not pain in a sense that something is bad, but like fatigue pain, not as anything is breaking. So I think that also like carries over to a lot of other aspects in life, and you gain that ability from training for these events.
And would you say that training has been a healing for you, or has it also sometimes been a way perhaps to escape difficult emotions?
I've asked myself this question actually, and I would say during my first Ironman and all the things that I did around that era of my life, I would say that I was kind of on a way to escape. Like I always did these crazy things, but this time around is more healing. I really enjoyed the sport, and I enjoyed the training, and everyone I met throughout my triathlon journey this time around is amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And how would you say that you can recognize the difference between then healthy determination and pushing yourself versus trying to run away from something? It's a fine line there, isn't it?
It is a fine line, and I think maybe sometimes it's hard to know. But since I know I've had this behavior previously, I think that is what like makes me know that this time around it is not because I'm trying to escape something. It's actually because I enjoy it. I have dealt with the reason why I were running away. So yeah. But it's hard to know if you don't know if you're escaping or not.
Yeah. And if someone is listening today, perhaps they appear strong and successful, but silently inside they are struggling, what would you say to that person?
I would say that it's okay to be vulnerable. You don't need to be vulnerable with everyone and like share your pain with the whole world. But I think to have people close to you, your near friends and family that they know, and it's okay to share that. I think that, yeah.
And what do you think families or friends or colleagues can do to create more safe space for everyone to be able to say that I'm not okay, so that they feel more comfortable with that? Because there's still a lot of stigma and shame around speaking up, especially about mental health in our society.
Yeah, I know. It's a hard question. It's a really hard question. I don't think I have a good answer for it, but I think that if you have mature friends close to you or family, and if you share a little bit and see how they react, I think a lot of the time people will probably react positively. I hope that at least. If not, maybe you should consider getting better friends.
Indeed, indeed. And I believe that you are doing the right thing by being vulnerable yourself and leading by example, Andre, because I know there's been a lot of hype about your post and your achievement that this Ironman finish. It's gone viral. I've seen it all around the world in many languages. But I want to ask you then, as we're taking the conversation a little bit deeper today here, do you believe that sharing your part of the journey and the challenges that you have faced earlier gives perhaps your Ironman achievement a bit of a deeper meaning?
I hope so. I hope that someone can hear my message and feel inspired and feel that whatever hardship they are facing in life, that they can gain maybe some knowledge from what I'm saying and be able to tackle it in a better way.
Yeah. And when someone remember what you did at IRONMAN Kalmar, I'm sure this will again hitting the news next year as we're coming up to the race. People will remember you and saying hello to you. At least a celebrity in the Ironman circles. What do you hope they understand beyond then the physical achievement of that you did?
I hope that they understand my attitude during the race. That that you can't control the circumstances again. Like, I think a lot of people would be angry, in especially if they have. Obviously, everyone has prepared a lot from the race, but I have really put in a lot of work and effort trying to do an 8:30 race is no joke. So I think a lot of people, especially in my shoes, would have been angry. But I don't. Who gains from that? Who benefits from you getting angry in that situation? It won't make the situation better for anyone.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful testimonial to your CBT therapist. You clearly had the really impact. But would you recommend to anyone else, someone who's listening today and perhaps, they're feeling a bit scared or shy to ask that help? And do you say that if someone is carrying that pain inside, going and see a therapist or working with a coach to get well, get out of the depression, the anxiety, whatever they're carrying, will also help them to perform better as an athlete?
Yeah, probably. I think if you feel better as a human being, that would probably ripple throughout your whole life, I think.
So now, after everything you have experienced, overcome, and learned about yourself, what does a limitless life mean to you, Andre?
That I'm the one controlling my life. I don't control the circumstances, but I control how I react to them, and what I do, and that's all I can do. But it's more than what most people think.
Yeah, Andre, thank you for trusting us with your deeper part of this story, which I think is amazing. Just before we finish today, is there anything I forgot to ask you, or anything you want to add about your journey that someone of the listeners should hear?
Not that I can think of right away.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Limitless show, and looking forward to seeing you at IRONMAN Kalmar, Sweden, in a year's time.
Thank you.